In the renewable energy world, finding ways to generate electricity without using the sun or the wind is considered to be the next big step to transition away from fossil fuel energy. And there is one source of energy that is emerging as a promising alternative to fossil fuel, which is made exclusively with renewable power. And that is green hydrogen. So with the aim to make India the world's second most populous country, energy independent and decarbonize major sectors of the economy, it has approved the $2.1 billion incentive, the National Green Hydrogen Mission, to promote green hydrogen in a bid to cut emissions, and this now makes it a major exporter in the field. The move is targeted to help India achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2070. According to authorities, the country aims for annual production of 5 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030, cutting about 50 million tons of carbon emissions and saving 1 trillion rupees on fossil fuel imports. But what exactly do we mean by green hydrogen? Let me explain. Green hydrogen is made by using renewable energy to split water into its two components, hydrogen and oxygen, through the process of electrolysis, and this happens without producing any greenhouse gases. This type of clean hydrogen could potentially replace fossil fuel in sectors such as steel or heavy transport. Moreover, there are other ways as well through which hydrogen energy can be processed. They are also categorized by color tabs, like green hydrogen. Hydrogen produced from fossil fuels is called grey hydrogen, which constitutes the bulk of the hydrogen generated today. While hydrogen generated from fossil fuels with carbon capture and storage options is called blue hydrogen. And as the world tries to shift towards net zero emissions, green hydrogen is now being touted as the way forward. Hydrogen, being the most common element in nature, exists only in combination with other elements and has to be extracted from naturally occurring compounds. Like water, hydrogen is a clean molecule, but the process of extracting it is energy intensive. Green hydrogen also has specific advantages. One, it is a clean burning molecule that can decarbonize a range of sectors, including iron and steel, chemicals and transportation. And the second reason being renewable energy that cannot be stored or used by the grid. And in fact, it can be channeled to produce hydrogen. Although green hydrogen is not only commercially viable at present, but in India, with implicit subsidy support and a government-backed research and development push, the plan is to target lower costs of renewable power generation and to bring down the cost of electrolyzers to make the production of green hydrogen cost competitive. Now, this will help India to shift towards a greener future. Now, to know more about this initiative, joining us now is our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal from New Delhi. Siddhant, this, of course, is a very ambitious initiative from India. Tell us more about it. What are the challenges? Of course, cost effectiveness remains the big one.
Well, yes, it has been announced by the Indian government. The Indian cabinet has given an approval. Of course, there are challenges. Cost is one major challenge. But of course, it is something that helps India to achieve the carbon neutrality goal, as you pointed out, but also generate employment and investing on future fuel, because hydrogen looks like the future fuel and how it can be tapped by the Indian government for its people is something that needs to be looked into. Remember that India imports a lot of crude oil, and that impacts, of course, the foreign exchange. So India saves money essentially in long term, and that is why the first step has been announced. Now the big challenge or obstacle will be on the implementation part. That could take some time, but largely an ambitious goal that is in line with the Indian government's policy when it comes to dealing with climate change. We know that India has in recent past taken several initiatives in terms of dealing with climate change issues, whether it's the International Solar Alliance, the Coalition for Disaster Resilience Infrastructure as well is another alliance that has been backed and led by India. International Solar Alliance, if we talk about that, we have seen more and more countries participating in. In fact, in the recent visit of the Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar to Cyprus, we saw Cyprus becoming the latest country to announce its intent intent to be part of this alliance. So nonetheless, an important first step taken by India when it comes to hydrogen, which is seen as a future fuel.
Right, Siddhant, thank you so much for all those updates. Thanks for joining us on WION's Climate Tracker at this hour. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.